I'm just coming in for a quick live session, real quick. Giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders apostles of GMS who teach and rule well. Shalom to the Akim, Salakia. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwat that's tuning in. Thank you, everyone. With that being said, let's get into it. I just want to do a quick little rant, if you will, about who the chosen people are and who they are not, and just certain clues we can use to cue in on certain facts and to debunk certain false narratives, if you will. But with that being said, so the I was over here telling my my Akim, right, my Ak right here, about how Egypt, what I say, Egypt in the 1948ers, man, they had a 7-day war, I believe it was, and it started because the president of Egypt at the time, or prime minister, whatever you would call that, he said that the reason why those Amalekites will never be able to live over here in peace is because the Jews left black and came back white. So you really can't make, or you could want a lie, or the truth, a lie to be the truth, like real badly. Excuse me for my poor English. Salakia. You can want a lie to be the truth so badly, but it don't mean it's gonna be that. A lot of people over here in America in the northern hemisphere, because that's where the majority of the hate is coming from. Really, of course, you got the UK, but I'm talking about the majority is coming from over here. But you can't dispute somebody in their own house. Them Ishmaelites, them Arabian nations, Persians and them, they've been over there. That's literally where they from. They didn't get took from their homeland, right or wrong. Exactly my point. They didn't get took from their homeland. Talking about them, the Arabs, the so-called Elamites, so on and so forth. They've been over there to this day, since day one.
Go
Didn't
nowhere.
go nowhere. You can't dispute a man in his own crib if he telling you, nah, bro, I know who my neighbor was. This was my neighbor. That's basically what these Babylonians are trying to do. They're trying to dispute what these cats are saying over there in their own block. They say, no, my neighbor was these cats. I don't know who the hell you cats is. That's why they fighting. So I mean, I laugh when I see people really fighting the truth. It just goes to show you the truth ain't for everybody. The Lord is picky on who He won't. The Lord actually has standards, contrary to popular belief. Yeah, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai actually has standards. Wow, shocker. I keep telling people you get it from somewhere. You know how they try to say the Lord only feel one way. He love everything. Well, did He make you one emotion, or did He give you a whole spectrum? Come on, man. Like stop the cap. Cut the crap, man. We know who His chosen people are. God is not all love. I'm gonna be, so
No.
I'm gonna pretend I'm Yahweh, right? And I'm gonna make a people, right? And I'm only gonna make them feel one type of way when I can feel a whole spectrum. Ain't that kind of like redundant?
Yeah.
It's, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like one plus one don't equal two, bruh. Secondly, who is the strange fruit, right? We really gonna let's really talk about it, right? Who is the strange fruit? Because we can all try to play church, or we can really come with facts. Niggas like to play church for social media, talking about the 2/3 of our people don't know a lick of nothing. But who is the strange fruit that the Bible speaks about? Because that pertains to the Israelites, a curse that they would be up under Salakia. The strange fruit being hung from a tree. Billie Holiday sung the song about it. Yeah, you didn't know about that. They called it strange fruit because a fruit hangs from a tree. A man hanging from a tree, or a woman hanging from a tree by their neck, or a child hanging by a tree from their neck. That's strange.
Mhm.
That's a strange looking fruit. I guess
Yeah.
yeah. Like, come on, man. Yeah, because fruits are supposed to hang from trees, not people. That's why the Bible calls the Israelites the strange fruits. And that Billie Holiday sung a song about it back in the day, like in our grandparents and some of our parents' day. The elder apostles know what I'm talking about. They from that era. They know about Billie Holiday. You got the song called Strange Fruits, man. Shout out to Peasy and Aria Muna, two artists that I listen to that's in the Israelite community. They did a song called Strange Fruits. with a more modern spin to it. It's a real good track. You guys gotta listen to it. It's actually a very, very good track. You know, that's a clear indication because the scripture says, you know, roughly paraphrasing, uh, 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 it's either he that hangeth on the tree or any man that hangeth on the tree is cursed. You know, you got different transliterations and whatnot, but it's saying it says the same thing. Basically, if you hanging on the tree, that's a curse, and the Israelites are likened unto strange fruits. Trying to connect the dots here. I mean, you know, it was funny at first, you know, seeing the Christians trying to steal our style, you know, trying to gank a nigga style. That's what they used to say back in the 90s, you know. I'm not a funny cat, but it's funny though, like I said, to see the Christians trying to, you know, steal our style and but not know anything about nothing. You know what I mean? But now it's kind of getting irritating. Now the scripture says that, you know, that these cats gonna try to wear out the saints. So, you know, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But still, you know, like I said, it was funny in the beginning. You know, like that shit. Now it's just it's stupid. I'm still stuck on the rapture thing. You know, everybody want to come from the Israelites. I think y'all just mad though because you know y'all tried that rapture bullshit and y'all was looking stupid. And I'm actually kind of surprised niggas really swept that under the rug. You know what I mean? That was funny. That was very, very funny. That was an ass move. Making an ass of yourself. That was a very ass move. Something stupid to do, based on nothing but emotion. That's why this social media shit gotta go, bro. This social media shit has to go. I don't want to make it about Jacob's trouble, but just to, you know, cue in on it real quick. You know, when this internet shit gets shut down, a lot of folks, man, dog, uh, everything is good when you got your internet and all that. Even when you in your worstest, I know that's not a word. Yo, damn this situation, you be like, you know what? I got my phone. It's all good. It can make it all better, right? Right or wrong?
Right.
Come on, man.
Mhm.
Let's just be real. So you know when that thing go off, bro, and you really have to deal with it because it's easy to say stuff without having facts, or because you want views, or because you want this or that. It's another thing when you got to really stand on it. When people see ain't no rapture coming, when people see that there's a chip coming and that ain't nobody gonna be able to escape that. So it's for some reason Christians think they're gonna be able to escape the MOTB, that they're gonna be able to get like no. He said it's gonna test the whole world. Like I said, not trying to make it about, you know, I want to stick, you know, stay in context, you know, about who the Israelites are. I just had to cue in real quick about that certain topic though. Anyways, we was on the strange fruits, right?
Mhm.
What was my? I think I had one more thing I wanted to speak on real quick. Salakia, y'all, just give me a minute, everybody. And Thawada, everybody tuning in, you guys want to drop a Bible verse, you know, whatever, it's all good. You want to cue in, you want to say something real fast, go ahead. The comment section is open. I'm just meditating right now. I want to see if I can pull one more point. We done pulled two good ones. We done pulled the 7 Day War with Egypt. We pulled the strange fruit. No pun intended. What was my third one? I want to say, I think I had one more. Was that it? Oh, okay, I guess that's it. I don't want to force the spirit. But yeah, just off of those 2 points, you should have a pretty good idea of who the chosen people of Yasha Allah are. It's not hard. I mean, hell, the wicked are being revealed every day. I remember it. It's the Epstein files. That's what I was going to say. So with the whole E files coming out, revealing who these motherfuckers are, man, you would think that'd be a clear sign because a lot of people on that list are quote unquote Amalekites. And if you read that, what's it called, the Talmud? Is that what it is?
I think so.
It ain't Torah, but if you read the Talmud, a lot of the things that they do in that junk, or that they did in the Epstein Islands, is in that Talmud crap, and it's in a lot of them satanic Bible books written by a lot of them cats, you know, that was in them cults and whatnot. That's your third sign right there. The wicked is being revealed in real time via social media, and people still don't know that they're not the chosen people. You think the Lord dealing with that when He said in the scriptures, specifically, remember the iniquity of the Amorites? Remember what the Amorites was doing, all that child sacrifice and shit. A lot of people forgot about that. I think it goes. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think it goes. My son, remember the iniquity of the Amorites. I could be wrong. Y'all can fact check me. I'm not saying I know it all, but I do know what I've been enlightened through Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and the men that he's put me under to know. I do know that. I'm confident in that. And then it don't take much if you can read too, if you can put two and two together. See, what it really boiled down to is taking the emotion, right? That's really what it boiled down to, is taking the emotion out of the whole situation, out of the scenario when you read this book. Because let's really get to the nitty gritty now that we done named our little 3 points, right? This is what the scripture says in this context. You take bloodline or anything out of it, and you just read it in a straightforward context. It says that God had a chosen people, and He wanted to put those people above the nation, but them people fell off. Had to go into captivity, and it's all about how they got robbed, defamed, and still are being robbed and defamed to the modern day, according to the scriptures, and then how they're going to get the victory in the end, and how the entire the entirety of the world played them, used them, abused them, and the list goes on. But it speaks about in the book how in the end, that nation that the Lord picked is going to rule over the entire world under a king. You know, He's going to set one up that is more profitable. That's what this book is saying. So now that we know what the book is saying, right? Let's do a quick recap. God created the heavens and the earth, created the people, wanted them people to be above the whole nation, not a whole, not Salakia. He wanted them people to be one whole nation, but above all nations, ruling above all nations, right? But then they fell. Now they're going through it, and now in the end they're gonna get the motherfucking victory. Excuse my French, but we rolling in the spirit. We ain't got time to worry about no foul language, right? But that's what the book says, right? So now that we know what it says, we need to put some color to it, if you will. We just gave a pretty black and white synopsis, right? Did I use that word right?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. We just gave a pretty black and white synopsis. So now that we got the template, the stencil, right? Now we got to add some color to it. We got to see what's going on. Now who's who? Because you can't believe the Bible, but you can't say you believe the Bible, but then say you don't believe that the Lord created only 18 nations. It don't work like that. You have to eat the whole roll. It's either you believe the Bible and you believe the Lord created 18 nations, or you don't. Is you can't have your cake and eat it too. Everybody goes back to a specific nation. He only created 18 of them. Talking about after the flood, the nations that came after the flood, if you will. I think it's called something Diluvian, pre-Diluvian, the pre-Diluvian nations. I'm not trying to get in. I'm not trying to get too deep. I'm actually trying to make this very simple and understandable. From a very basic standpoint. Like I said, these are very simple concepts, man. When people get quote unquote left behind, because the real left behind is when your ass is here having to be missile food, if you will. You know what I mean? But people not gonna understand until they get left behind, though. That's really the point I'm trying to make. People not gonna understand it for real. It's sad. People gonna have to get left behind to really see that this shit wasn't a joke. That what we was doing, Salakia and teaching was the truth. They say the Israelites are teaching from a point of hate or emotion, if you will. No, you're gonna see that the Israelites were teaching in truth and sincerity, and that a lot of you guys had Stockholm syndrome. Somebody had the inherited lies, man. The scripture says that it's gonna be a certain group of people down here saying that we have inherited lies from our forefathers. Come on, man. There is, you know what? I ain't gonna bring that up. I'm gonna go to my next point. So the Decalogue Stone out there in Las Cruces, New Mexico. I didn't get a chance to go out there with the Borderlands brothers because I had to work, that day. But that's a huge stone with the Ten Commandments written on it in Paleo Hebrew. You could literally walk up to it. You got to find it. Nobody really knows. Well, I won't say nobody really knows where it's at, but everybody don't really know where it's at. Only a select few people ever really truly find it. But apparently, when I was at work one day, these brothers found it. I was shocked. They sent me pictures and everything. But it's the Ten Commandments written in Paleo Hebrew over there in Las Cruces, New Mexico, where Northern Kingdom predominantly was at. Before the Spanish Inquisition, if you know anything about history. That's where the tribe of Gad, Issachar, you know, maybe a little bit of Zebulon. That's where they was all at and whatnot. These are all very very simple concepts. I'm trying to give you guys to help you understand. Ultimately, it's of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. You have to be chosen to receive this message. If you want to, be realistic, because to the natural man, this it does sound odd. I could probably give him that. I'm pretty sure to the carnal man it does sound odd. You telling me the so-called melanated people of the world with a natural connection to the sun are the one that God chose, and the people with genetic inferiorities are the ones that God didn't choose? What? Well, you know how I was raised? I was raised that anything that they push is bad, that you shouldn't trust from the government. Anything that they push, like real, real hard, is usually bad. That's what I was told. They ain't did nothing but push motherfucking the so-called white man Jesus to the maximum psi. You feel me? To our people and on our people. That shit did more harm and dirt to our community than crack and all that shit put together. Because you can fix a physical lean. That fentanyl shit be having you leaning. I heard you can fix a physical lean. You can't fix no spiritual lean unless the Lord wanted to. Who can make straight what the Most High made crooked? Nobody, only He. A lot of y'all spiritually leaning. You on that spiritual fetty. Y'all, what they call it, crackianity. I forgot which one of the elder brothers back in like the 2020, the beginning of 2020 when I was coming into the truth. He called it crackianity. I forget, but yeah, a lot of y'all got the spiritual lean. Y'all got the spiritual dope sickness and shit. The spiritual fetty going on and shit. I told y'all, hey, in my defense, I told y'all I'm not funny. I'm just going in the spirit, man. Hey, look, I'm not here to make you laugh. I'm just here to really provoke, or to spark thought provoking, action. That's really what I'm here for, according to the scripture. But if you end up laughing, that's good too, right? They say the truth is often told in satire. You gotta always remember that. A lot of truth is told through comedy. Ain't that how the saying go? Like a lot of truth is. Yeah, a lot of truth is told through comedy and satire, man. But I don't want to ramble on. Like I said, I didn't want to make this video long. I just want to get into the point. I want to say a mighty, mighty shalom to everybody in the comments. Mighty, mighty shalom to everybody that tuned in. Just want to speak real quick, real fast, and real briefly. Like I said, this is very, very simple concept. We really late in the game, and a lot of people are not going to understand until it's too late. I know I was moving real fast. I was here, then I was there with it. But I pray you guys were able to get the message. Pray you guys were edified, and just keep holding on. Talking to myself included now. We got to stay strong, and just yeah, just like I said, shalom and Tawada to everybody that tuned in. Double honors to the apostles of GMS. Shalom to the brethren, the aq.א and the aq.א, and everybody tuning in. And just stay ready, man. Stay prayed up, and just yeah, get ready, dude. Because these cats is gonna try to come down real, real hard on us according to the scriptures, man. They're gonna come in like a flood. And best believe, one thing I've known, just traveling across the entire country, this whole state of Babylon, if you will. One thing I learned is when people ain't got nothing to lose, they do lose it, and the people they usually lose it on are the true light bearers of the world. People that's just trying to bring the light. They never lose it on their own. People that emanate the same darkness. So all of us that's just out here trying to do right, just stay prayed up and remember that it's gonna come a time where these motherfuckers is gonna try to put hands on us. Their life is gonna get so chaotic and they ain't gonna know what to do but try to put hands on us. So just keep that in mind, yo. Stay prayed up, cause ain't no gun, ain't no knife, ain't no nothing gonna save you in the day of the Lord. That's why it's called that, because it's His day. Any and everything that's gonna happen is gonna be purely and strictly ordained. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna exit it out. Shalom, and until next time, like I said, stay prayed up.